guys, it's Justine here from I Should Read That, and I'm going to do a very short weekend vlog because I'm terrible at the weekly vlogs, as discussed in my boyfriend book tag video that I did with Scottish husband. I can't do weekly vlogs. So on Friday, I was chatting with a couple of my book blogging friends, and we all realized that we had plans to just kind of sit and read all weekend. So we're doing a mini readathon amongst ourselves. My main goal was to finish Priory of the Orange Tree, which I have, and I'd show you, but it's like over there and I don't want to stand up and get it. But I'm going to do a review of that book immediately after this, but I had to pick a couple of things that I wanted to read for my weekend TBR, so I picked two books. The first being Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is a YA crime novel. I don't know anything about it, but I know that it is sort of much beloved. People really enjoy this one, and I want to read more YA crime. And it sounds like a good departure from fantasy, so I thought that I'd read this. And then yesterday I also picked up a copy of Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. She's the woman who wrote The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I really liked. I read it over the summer. And like, I just picked this up because I knew I was going to read it and I was going to want it. First of all, this is like my perfect book because we have a lady with full 70s hair, which like I love, rainbow, we have gold foil, we have sprayed edges, a ribbon bookmark, and amazing end papers. So like, I have a feeling I'm gonna really enjoy this. While I was drying my hair, I started reading this and I like immediately got sucked into it. It takes place in Los Angeles, which is where I grew up, and like I'm super excited to read this. I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo in about a day and a half on holiday, so I think this is gonna be a really fast one. I'm really looking forward to this because people seem to be loving it so far. As part of my bookish day, I had to go and pick up some stuff from the post office. So I know that this is book post. I haven't quite opened it yet, but I have an idea of what some of this may be. One of them, the black package, actually has the publisher's name on it. So I know what that is. I don't know what this one here is though. This is an interesting one because I actually hate, I hate the cover of this book, but I was really interested. The ribbon kind of started to come off. This is the Tesla Legacy, and this is by K.K. Perez. Here, you can actually take a look. It had a nice ribbon on it, but it came off, and I feel terrible. But I have funny feelings about this one because it sounds really, really good, but I hate this cover so much. I really hate this cover. It's not great. It's just like not the aesthetic that I particularly enjoy. I probably wouldn't have picked this up on my own, but I actually have Sweet Black Waves, which is her other book, somewhere on the shelves here, and that is like a historical fantasy Tristan and Isolde retelling. It has a beautiful, beautiful cover, so I was a little bit surprised to see this. But not being shallow, all of that aside, this sounds really, really great. It's all about women in science, and it just sounds super fun. So I'm very, very happy to have this. I know what this one is because I've only requested one book from this publisher. Ooh! And I put something cinnamony in here because this smells absolutely amazing. So, okay, I'm really excited for this. They sent this in a cute drawstring bag. So this is Crown of Feathers, and this is by Nikki Paupretto. This has actually come out in the US already, and this is from Black and White Publishing. They're an Edinburgh-based publisher. This is from their imprint Ink Road Press, who do their YA books, and I think this is the first fantasy book they've acquired. So they sent along a copy of the book, which I'm really excited to read. I think it comes out in April. And then a couple of postcards as well. So one for this particular book, which this is amazing art, and then for a book called The Year After You as well. And then a bookmark. God, I love bookmarks. Some pins, some chocolate, and then this must be what's smelling so good. I think this is cinnamon tea, which like is my favorite thing. Oh my god. So there's a press release, and there's also like a letter from the author, and this is really sweet. So it's she talks about how this book was written amidst some changes in her life. She had put away another manuscript, she had quit her day job, she had parted ways with her agent, and she started all over, and she ended up writing this book. And it's inspired by the things that she loves, and she name checks Tamora Pierce's books, which like makes me even more excited to read this because I love Tamora Pierce, who got Dax is coming to join me. is all this stuff in your way? So she says, in Crown of Feathers, you'll find empires and queendoms, centuries of history and legend. You'll find phoenixes, animal magic that allows humans to communicate and bond with them, and you'll find brave and honorable heroines like Veronica, as well as dangerous queens, fierce warriors, and a complex examination of sisterhood. This sounds amazing. I'm so excited to read A Crown of Feathers. I think it comes out in the UK on the 25th of April. I think that this is going to be fantastic. I'm super excited for this, and I'm really excited for Ink Road to acquire some more fantasy books. Okay, now I'm covered in stuff. So I'm going to tidy all of this stuff up, and I'm going to go return some library books. I'm going to go drop some stuff off at the Oxfam bookshop from the book haul, or book unhaul I should say, that I did like a month ago. I still haven't taken them to the charity shop yet. And then I'm gonna get myself some dinner because Scottish Husband is away tonight, and for a good portion of tomorrow he is going to be running a half marathon with my sister. I am not a runner, so I cheer them on from either the sidelines or from home, and so I think it's gonna be a really good bookish night. I'm gonna record some videos, I'm gonna take some photos, I'm gonna write some posts. It's gonna be a good day. I name dropped the fact that you are going to run a half marathon.
Yes.
So everyone can be super impressed with your manliness. Hello, so it is about 4:30 and I am here by myself. So my actual like readathon reading is going to be starting now. I have started Daisy Jones and the Six and I am 36 pages in. I can tell this is gonna go by super fast, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm really loving the way that it's set up. So it's kind of split into time periods. So it's her as kind of the groupie in Los Angeles in the 60s to early 70s, and then it jumps to when the actual band, the Six, were formed, and it's kind of going on from there, but it's also told as an interview, as a series of interviews, so there's no actual like narrative text going on. It's just, you know, different people's points of view, whether it's her own or her best friends or members of the band or, you know, people who knew them throughout like her early life and all of this. It's really interesting so far. It's a super fast and super easy read, so I'm thinking that I'll be able to finish this tonight. Otherwise, I'm going to fix my slightly wonky fringe. My hair got slightly blown askew because it is super windy and I think it's gonna get stormy later today, and I have just been a bit of a mess. So I'm gonna go ahead, fix my hair, and I'm gonna do some videos because I'd like to kind of almost like stockpile videos for me to edit throughout the week so I can be a little bit better about scheduling stuff, because that's one of my big goals for BookTube this year. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and get back to reading. Right, so it is about 10 o'clock at night and I am sort of winding down for the evening, I think. I am currently on page 107 of Daisy Jones and the Six, and this is flying by really quickly. I'd actually be much further along if it weren't for a pause to watch the latest episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, season 11, and Untucked as well. And I have to say that I probably would have had a better time reading because the season's not very interesting, unfortunately. It was a decent episode once we got to the very end. No spoilers if you haven't seen it. But yeah, no, it wasn't great. So I am catching up on my reading now. I think I'm going to take all of this off and hop in the tub and read a little bit more and then probably read some in bed. But it's Saturday night and it's 10 o'clock, like this is my usual bedtime, but because it's Saturday, maybe I'll stay up a little bit later, I don't know, but I am really enjoying this so far. I just like, so I'm from Los Angeles originally, and I lived there until I went off to university, and like, this book is all about like the music scene in LA in the 70s. It makes me so happy. Like, it's all like crazy sex and drugs and whatnot, but a lot of the places they're name checking are just like, yeah, it makes me really happy. Places like the Whiskey are still around, at least to my knowledge. They were when I was like 21 when I last visited. But I don't know, there's something about LA books and New York books, because of those are both places that I've lived that just make me so happy. And I hadn't quite connected in my head, like there's palm trees and stuff on the back. I hadn't quite connected in my head that this might be set in Los Angeles, and so like I'm very happy about it. But it's really interesting so far. It's kind of the rise of Daisy Jones and this band, and they started separately initially and they eventually like kind of come together. But again, it's just all told through interviews. I am very curious to see how she's gonna play with that style, because I know that she will probably do something with that. There's a reason that she wrote this book this way, so I'm very interested. We'll see how far I get. I'd like to maybe be halfway through by the time I go to bed, which will probably be really easy for me to do. I'd like to have this done before tomorrow so that I can start on something else as well. Hello, it is Sunday afternoon. I think it's about 1:15 or so, 1:20, and Sophia and I have spent much of the morning reading Daisy Jones and the Six, and we finished, didn't we? Yes, she's been sitting on my feet, which is very helpful for the reading process. She's stuck in my shirt, there we go. But I ended up finishing Daisy Jones and the Six, and I really liked it a lot. I think that it's a really interesting book, because similarly to The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is her other book, her other very famous book, she's written a ton of stuff, I thought that everyone in this book was a horrible person. They're all terrible people. But like Evelyn Hugo, there's something about them that's so incredibly compelling. I really enjoyed these characters. So sort of similar to Evelyn Hugo, who's a character who is super cutthroat and ruthless, and she's unapologetically ambitious, and she will do whatever she needs to do to get to the top. And that includes hurting a lot of people. But there's something about her, I think it's the fact that she truly cares for the people that she loves. It's a small group of people that she truly loves, but those people have her like undying loyalty, and that's what makes her so interesting to me. And similarly in this book, like they're all horrible, they're all addicted to drugs, and they're all like these crazy wild rock stars, but they love their music so much and they love their art so much. And you know, depending on the character, they also have this great love for their family or this great love for their friends, and it's just, I think that that's what kind of saves this book from being like a slog through a bunch of unlikable people. If you're gonna have unlikable characters, there has to be something redeeming about them, and I think Taylor Jenkins Reid does that really well. So because it is about 1:20 in the afternoon, I should probably go ahead and tidy up a bit, because I tend to like throw stuff all over the place, especially when I'm here by myself, and poor Scottish husband should not have to clean the flat or help me clean the flat after he has run a half marathon. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Tidy up, do some domestic stuff, but I'm also going to try to start Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson as my last book for the Buccaneer Readathon. I am very interested in this because I don't know anything about this, but I know that a lot of people seem to really love it, and I love crime fiction, and I've read like no YA crime at all, and I think that this could be really interesting. I'm not going to read the back of this book because oftentimes I find that the back of the book just says way too much about the book itself, especially if it is crime fiction, especially if it is a thriller. So I'm just gonna go dive straight into this and not really know anything about what it's about. So that should be really fun. But I doubt I'm gonna finish this book today. I think I'm gonna have my one full book read and part of 2 books read, because I finished Priory on Saturday morning. So I think that is a really good run for a weekend-long readathon. So I'll check in with you guys later and see how far I get in this book. I'm here with best friend in the world, Sophia, in her natural habitat, which is my side of the bed, naturally. My side is always extremely fluffy. But I have had a very good afternoon, except it was very confusing. It was hailing, like really hard, for like 2 minutes. It was like the apocalypse was here. And then about 2 minutes after that, it was brightly sunny and beautiful again. I don't understand British weather. It's very confusing, isn't it? Yes, we're not used to this sort of thing. But it at least has made for some interesting scenery for us inside the flat. But I am currently exporting my Priory of the Orange Tree review, which should go up today. I was gonna put it up Monday, but like, why? Let's just put it up today. And I'm really excited to see what people think of it, because I do have some things to talk about. It wasn't as kind of spectacularly perfect as I thought it would be, but I did really enjoy it. Oh, that's rude. Oh, okay, that's fine. and I think that I am now going to spend the rest of the afternoon, spend the rest of the afternoon reading Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. As I said before, it's crime, and I don't get to read crime very often, and I don't think I've ever read any YA crime, have I? So this should be really fun. I've heard great things, and I suspect it's going to go by pretty quickly. It's about 400 some odd pages, but I don't think it's going to be very, very long or a particularly difficult read. My friend is gone. I've been abandoned. I should probably get up. So it's actually Monday today, because someone forgot to wear her glasses while filming the wrap-up for this vlog, and it was all fuzzy, so I had to reshoot this. It's people with glasses problems, I'm telling you. But I am really, really pleased with the progress that I made on my reading this weekend, and I feel better about my reading because I've only read 3 books in the month of March, and it's the 18th. So that's not great in terms of how I usually do for my monthly reading, but I did read Priory of the Orange Tree, which took out like a huge chunk of my time. So I'm just going to wrap up all of these books now and tell you what I am now currently reading for this week. The first book that I finished during this little mini readathon that I did is Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, and I've actually filmed my full review for this book, so I will link that down below if you'd like to check it out. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't like the mind-blowing amazing book that I thought it would be, but it was excellent. It was very, very good, and I would recommend it. Next, I read Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I loved this book. I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's different, and it's amazing, and it's wonderful, and if you like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, you're probably going to enjoy this, and if you haven't read that book, I would highly recommend this anyway, because it is such an interesting format, it's interesting characters, it's a really interesting point in time, and it's just excellent. It's very, very well done. I don't know where my copy of Truly Devious went. It's around here somewhere. I don't really know where, but I actually decided to put that aside because I was not getting on with the main character whatsoever. She's very much like not the kind of person that I think I would have been friends with when I was a teen. She's just very like, I don't even know how to describe her, but like in the first, I read the prologue and the opening chapter, and in that first chapter she's very like confrontational with her parents, and she's very like, you know, my mother bothers me so much about my short hair, but because she was attached to my long hair, so it had to go, I had to cut it off. And I was just like, please. This is not even me being an old lady, like, commenting on this, like, teenage behavior. This is the kind of teenage behavior that I really didn't like when I was a teen, and, like, me and my friends weren't like this. I think she's just the kind of character that I don't get on with, but I am planning on coming back to that book, maybe when I'm in a little bit of, like, a better mindset for that. I don't know. I realized that my current read is actually right next to me. You can totally see it throughout this entire thing. I'm reading Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I need to be in the right state of mind, or not the right state of mind, but in the right mindset, I should say, to read Laini Taylor's writing, because I don't usually like this kind of writing. It's very flowery and purple prose and over the top and everything, but when I read Strange the Dreamer in 2017, I absolutely loved it. It was the exact perfect book at the exact perfect time, and I picked this up when it came out in November of 2018, and I just didn't get on with it at the time. I decided to put it aside until I was kind of in the right mood for it, and I'm in that mood now. And I'm about 50 pages in, and I'm really enjoying it. So that was obviously the right move for me. I'm not going to talk about what this is about because it's the second book in a duology, and even like the opening sentence gives away the entire end of the first book. So Strange the Dreamer is a wonderful book. I really love it. It's one of those books that like the hype totally like did not ruin it. The hype was correct for me, and I know that it's not to everyone's taste, but I loved it so much, and I'm really hoping that I love this as well. I'm really excited to read this. So that is it for this video. I would love to hear what you've been up to, what you've been reading this week. If you've finished any new books, if you've read any of these books, if they're in your TBR, I would love to hear from you. I post bookish content to this channel fairly frequently, so go ahead and hit subscribe, check back soon, and I will see you next time.